Hello, my name is Marlon Mazola, and I'll be presenting my project, which is based on the interaction of technology and privacy, and how technology erodes privacy like water erodes a rock. A lot of countries in the world have rules and regulations that protect privacy in one way or another. A lot of these laws are supposed to be protecting privacy that are supposed to be protecting privacy are either outdated due to the rapid advance of technology, or can be easily bypassed due to the vagueness of those laws. Technology advances by the day, getting better and better at doing its job, whether it is a Google search engine AI or surveillance technology. The internet has been eroding privacy since it started, and it will end up killing it in the future if it is not controlled. Let's start by discussing how technology erodes privacy. In my opinion, there are two main ways that this is done. One is through surveillance and the other is personal data. Surveillance is closely related to governments conducting mass surveillance on the population with the purpose of keeping the peace and protecting against terrorism. In most recent memory, people would not realize that the US government was conducting surveillance until Snowden exposed it back in 2013. Personal data refers to information about a person that identifies them, such as full names, dates of birth, and even location. Tech companies like Google and Facebook collect all sorts of information, including personal data. Most of the time, this is unknown to the people that the data belongs to. This data is then used to generate ads or content to keep people on a specific site, such as YouTube. Let's discuss how surveillance erodes privacy first. Governments all around the world conduct surveillance on the people, mostly as a way to keep peace. However, countries like China use surveillance to keep their citizens in check, such as monitoring online services that are only available in China, like WeChat. In a much smaller scale, a lot of workplaces now also implement surveillance to indirectly keep their employees productive. Something as polarizing as surveillance will have ethical issues. Surveillance makes people paranoid, even if there is no one actively watching. The mere possibility of someone watching will mess with anyone in a psychological way. On a global scale, surveillance can be weaponized to suppress entire countries, which is usually the goal of tyrannical power. On a smaller scale, people being monitored at work will most likely be protective, because they are in fear of being watched. Surveillance, in my opinion, is unethical when conducted where a person would have a reasonable expectation of privacy. The internet is a very gray area where governments can decide if people should have a reasonable expectation of privacy or not. Some people think surveillance is necessary, and the most common counter-argument that they will cite in favor of surveillance is that since they are not doing anything wrong, that they should not be worried about being watched. This argument is fundamentally flawed because most people that bring it up don't even believe it themselves. Here's a clip from a talk from Glenn Greenwald about that is talking about this argument.
We as human beings, even those of us who in words disclaim the importance of our own privacy, instinctively understand the profound importance of it. It is true that as human beings we're social animals, which means we have a need for other people to know what we're doing and saying and thinking, which is why we voluntarily publish information about ourselves online. But equally essential to what it means to be a free and fulfilled human being is to have a place that we can go and be free of the judgmental eyes of other people. There's a reason why we seek that out, and that reason is that all of us, not just terrorists and criminals, all of us have things to hide. There are all sorts of things that we do and think that we're willing to tell our physician or our lawyer or our psychologist or our spouse or our best friend that we would be mortified for the rest of the world to learn. We make judgments every single day about the kinds of things that we say and think and do that we're willing to have other people know, and the kinds of things that we say and think and do that we don't want anyone else to know about. People can very easily in words claim that they don't value their privacy, but their actions negate the authenticity of that belief.
Let's continue the presentation with personal data. Personal data is another way that technology erodes privacy, which is most prominent in the personal data that is collected by tech companies. They obtain this data in two major ways. One, the data that they collect in the background, such as location, and two, data that users willingly upload to social media. Data collection will also have some ethical issues tied to it, such as big tech companies like Google and Facebook collecting data through their respective platforms, with users not knowing what is being collected. The collected data is then used to generate ads tailored to fit a person's likes, which in its own is an entirely different ethical debate. Data collection can also be done by nefarious websites that then sell the data to other companies, which may be used for even worse purposes. Personal data can be used for nefarious purposes, such as stealing identity or targeting someone for some reason. And here's a clip from a talk told by Alessandro Acquisti explaining how it is done.
Years back, we did something else. We started from social media data. We combined it statistically with data from US government social security, and we ended up predicting social security numbers, which in the United States are extremely sensitive information. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if you combine the two studies together, then the question becomes, can you start from a face? And using facial recognition, find a name and publicly available information about that name and that person. And from that publicly available information, infer non-publicly available information, much more sensitive ones, which you link back to the face. And the answer is yes, we can, and we did. Of course, the accuracy keeps getting worse.
Data collection does have some merit to it, however. Companies that provide services or expedite services in exchange for personal data are sometimes very helpful. This includes places like hospitals, where they will be able to find a person in the system and provide service much faster, or how Google can save your personal data on their cloud so that then you can fill online forms much faster. In conclusion, tech companies trying to push their greedy agendas on people, governments abusing their power to conduct mass-scale surveillance, those are the factors that erode privacy like water erodes a rock. With the ever-advancing nature of technology, however, I feel that the water is instead a jackhammer breaking through the thin layer of privacy that we have left. We have reached the end of the presentation, and I thank you all for watching.